Welcome to another episode of Prozac and Coffee for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoy this one. To understand wise mind, you really need to get a grasp of what the reasonable mind is. And when you're in a reasonable mind, the mind is cool, the mind is rational, and the mind is task-focused. When in reasonable mind, you are ruled by fact, reason, logic, and pragmatics. Values and feelings are not important. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, especially myself, we get trapped in what we call emotion mind, and that's not a safe place for us to be at all the time. When you're in emotion mind, you're hot, you're mood dependent, and you're emotionally focused. When in emotion mind, you're ruled by your moods, feelings, and urges to do or say things. Facts and reasons and logic are not important, and that could put you in a bad spot. So when you can blend those together, and it puts you in the sweet spot, which we like to call the wise mind. Wise mind is probably your safest place to be, and it's the blend of the reasonable mind and emotional mind. Wise mind is the wisdom within each person. We all have it inside us. It just takes a lot of practice and patience. Seeing the value of both reason and emotions, and bringing the left brain and the right brain together. It's what you'd like to call the middle path. Luckily for me, during my group and IOP groups that are teaching me these skills to cope with trauma, I was lucky enough to have a guy in my group that really dug the outdoors, and he attempted to get me out of my house a couple times and finally did. It was a great wise mind exercise. So we're gonna go right into mindfulness, which is being in the moment, being mindful, which is basically being in wise mind. Mindfulness wise mind, using what skills? First, you observe, describe, and participate. And when you're rock climbing or being outdoors, you really can't stop yourself from doing all these things. When you're just walking, it's very easy to daydream and get lost in your thoughts. That's why doing something a little more extreme, taking yourself out of your comfort zone, it really gets you into that wise mind. You observe things like this beautiful oak tree that's literally growing sideways out of a rocky mountain. It's amazing how life can survive like this, but it's things that you would never appreciate if you don't get yourself outside. Testing yourself. If you're afraid of heights, like I am, the best thing to do would be to challenge yourself. Now, I did have a lot of encouragement from a member from my group who took me out to one of his favorite spots, and I'm super thankful for it because it was one of the best experiences that I ever had, and it's being totally mindful. Your emotion mind is totally on, and your reasonable mind is also on. He made sure to explain to me that I really had to stay mindful and within wise mind, to relax, because when doing things like this, being relaxed is very important so you don't make a mistake. It was quite the experience. It's the first time I ever did it, and doing it without ropes also was emotionally challenging and fear testing. But without climbing your mountains in life, all the challenges that you face, if you don't face your fears and challenge yourself, you're never going to be able to scale the obstacles in your life that are scalable. And when you finally get to the top, you get to experience something, an inner peace, and you get to see a different perspective, a view that you would never have seen if you didn't make that climb. So we were running the clock, and we were trying to beat the sun because it was going down, and we did not want to go bouldering across this lake in the dark because that would have been very hard. So we started to make our way back, and um, total concentration. So your total mind, you're in complete mindfulness during this experience. Because if you weren't, you'd probably fall and get hurt. Your brain kind of takes over when you're doing something like this, and it takes full concentration. It's To me, it was very therapeutic, and it was something I didn't think I was ever going to do. It was scary because if you do fall, you are going to fall right into the water and probably get hurt. And with no safety ropes, having that little extra fear did keep you super focused and in the moment, which is mindfulness. So I just want to give a shout out, super thanks to Kaiser and the behavioral therapy team for for all the treatment, um, for the members of group who have opened my eyes and given me perspective, um, for members of the group that reach out and try to help me cope and bring me to new life experiences. I hope you enjoyed this lesson slash scenery, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. We go for another climb up a ridge to get to another view, again with no rope, so it's pretty scary. Um, I had to take a break right here because he was walking up and there was a couple rocks that were falling down from his footsteps, so I had to wait for those to finish falling, and then I made my trek to the top. And just like in life, if you don't climb those mountain of challenges, you will never get to experience the joy at the top. And let me tell you, when you are at the top, you see things that you can greatly appreciate. You Not only do you see a beautiful view from the top, but you also look down at all the accomplishments that you have achieved and how hard you worked to get to the top. Um, Thank you for sticking with me through this episode, and hopefully I could bring you a little bit more DBT, so you could understand and cope, or follow me in my journey of healing. Thanks. Please subscribe and check out the next ones. Hopefully these things are improving.